On the news tonight, COVID-19, unvaccinated staff of FCT administration queue to meet deadline. Plans underway by FCT Inec to ensure free, fair and credible area councils elections. And major roads to Eagle Square to be closed to traffic as Nigeria marks Armed Forces Remembrance Day. A very good evening to you and welcome to the news at 7 p.m. on NTA Channel 5 Abuja, the Unity Station. I am Nolin Ebel-Ame with the news. Following the order by Federal Capital Territory Administration that all staff must show their vaccination cards before gaining entry into office premises from Monday, 17th January 2022, Odiri Arutere witnessed the rush by workers to get vaccinated before the deadline.
Since the declaration by the federal government to begin the enforcement of compulsory COVID-19 vaccination for all employees since December 1, 2021, the FCT Permanent Secretary have moved into action by issuing a circular to FCTA staff stating that from Monday, 17 January 2022, all staff of FCTA must show their vaccination cards before entering into office. This resulted in the rush for COVID-19 vaccination by workers.
I know there has been some misconception going around about the vaccine, but finally we are mandated to take it as government workers, so we have no choice.
I was afraid to take it for the first time, but now the government have finally officially announced that if you don't take it, we won't come to office, so I have to take it.
Well, I can't remember when last injection has actually gone into my body. I took it. It's okay, it's fine.
The senior special assistant to the FCT Minister, Monetary, Inspection and Enforcement, Ata Iharo, says there is no going back on the deadline.
All the offices, AEA and others, if you don't have a vaccination card for Monday, you cannot go in.
I don't know why people should even wait for government to force them to look after their health. Vaccination is very important, no matter how the theory that you think are being sold to us are. Your health is very important.
Meanwhile, vaccination centers are open on a daily basis for people to be vaccinated. In Abuja, Odiri Arutere, NTA News.
Meanwhile, figures from the Nigeria Center for Disease Control and CDC as at 12th of January 2022 indicates 13 new cases of COVID-19 in the FCT. The number of confirmed cases stand at 27,782, while active cases now 2,740, and number of discharged cases stand at 24,801, and 241 deaths have been recorded in the Federal Capital Territory. In a related development, the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency and a development partner denied reports in some sections of the media of outbreak of a new polio virus in some states, saying no case of wild polio virus has been reported anywhere in the country. A statement signed by the Executive Director, NPHCDA, Dr. Faisal Shuaib, indicates that Nigeria and the African region were certified wild polio virus free in 2020 until date. There has been no case of wild polio virus anywhere in the country. However, the statement says there are currently 395 cases of circulating mutant polio virus across 27 states and the FCT, owing to the suspension of several polio campaigns and other health programs in 2020, as well as disruptions of routine immunization because of the COVID-19 pandemic. While efforts are also being ramped up to increase routine immunization coverage beyond pre-COVID values, NPHCDA assures Nigerians that the agency and partners will continue to conduct surveillance and vaccination campaigns to prevent and contain any possible importation of the wild polio virus into the country. The Federal Capital Territory Society Development Secretariat has expressed dissatisfaction that some of the expansive facilities provided for social welfare within the territory were underutilized. Mandate Secretary Social Development Secretariat Hadiza Kabir said that the Secretariat will develop programs targeted at optimization of the facilities. This was when she inspected the FCT Unity Children's Home in Gwako, Gwagwalada Area Council and others. Ifeanyi Ezumba reports.
Facilities also visited include Women Multipurpose Food Processing Center and Women Development Center. The Secretary, FCT Social Development Secretariat, Hadiza Kabir, bemoaned the level of redundancy in these facilities as multi-million naira equipment and machineries installed had not been put to use or served the purpose of its establishment after many years.
Very soon, those equipments come back to life with the interventions. The place will come up more. You see more improvement in the facilities and more children will be taken there and they will be catered for.
Senior Admin Officer, Social Development Secretariat Yakubu Haruna, who oversees the Women Multipurpose Food Processing Center, speaks on the need for the place to be resuscitated.
The materials, the equipment that are put in place that can impact knowledges to some people. The halls are empty. These units are mentioned, no one is functioning.
While calling on those taking advantage of the center to run their business to ensure that the environment is kept clean, the Secretary SDS emphasized that no act of vandalism will be tolerated. In Abuja, Ifeanyi Ezumba, NT News.
In other news, the National Planning Committee of the Armed Forces Remembrance Day Celebration 2022 informs the public, motorists and other road users within the Federal Capital Territory that the roads leading to the National Arcade and Eagle Square, Abuja, will be closed to traffic from Friday, January 14 to Saturday, January 15, 2022. In a press release from Ministry of Defense, states that this is a temporary measure to enable security operatives and other stakeholders prepare for the National Remembrance Arcade for the conduct of wreath-laying ceremony of the 2022 Armed Forces Remembrance Day celebration, which holds on January 15 annually. In view of that, motorists are hereby requested to please divert to other alternative routes within these stipulated dates, as inconveniences that may arise from there are regretted. You are still watching the news at 7 p.m. on NTA Channel 5 Abuja. We pause here for a break. Thank you for staying with us on the news at 7 p.m. The FCT Electoral umpire, Inec, has continued to brainstorm ahead of the upcoming area council elections to ensure the process is free and fair, credible and peaceful. This has also necessitated the risk management for stakeholders in Abuja.
It is 29 days away from the FCT Area Council's elections, and the Commission is putting all necessary machineries in place to ensure a credible, free, fair, and peaceful elections. The essence of the meeting is to promptly identify risk factors, be it external or internal, with a view to coming up with workable solutions that will help mitigate them before the election day.
If the campaigns are targeted at insulting opposition, things like this will lead to tension.
The objective is to assess these informations, collect them, analyze them, use it to pass information to the Commission so that they can be able to come up with a policy statement.
According to speakers, areas such as Kuje, Kwali and Abaji have remained on the red alert as they highlight factors to be considered, which include road and mobile networks and issue of inclusiveness, among others.
Leaders, we have traditional rulers, we have all these kind of people, who are our stakeholders. We sensitize them, and they also go and reach their own people.
Deaf and dumb, for instance, when it comes to a polling unit, that disability is not visible. You will not notice it, and you will think this person is faking it. So if you bring a picture that will explain what is happening there, even where there is a sign language interpreter, the picture will tell him what to do and whatever.
The stakeholders include security agencies, civil society organizations, and representatives of different vulnerable groups. At the end, a unanimous recommendation made by speakers is for continuous sensitization against hate publication and insightful messages. In Abuja, Aisha Uba Ali, NTA News.
Still on area council selection, I will now hand you over to Ifoma Ojinta, who will anchor the news segment of the countdown to FCT area council selection. Over to you, Ifoma.
Thank you very much, Nolene. Now, the FCT area council's elections are here again, and in a month's time, chairmanship and councillorship elections will hold across the 6 area councils of the FCT. As stakeholders strategize to ensure a heat-free polls, NTA Channel 5 Abuja will keep you informed as we count down to February 12th election day. On that note, I welcome you to a new segment on the news, the countdown to the area council elections. Thank you very much for joining us. And as we all know that the area council elections are around the corner, the FCT Electoral umpire Inec has continued, to brainstorm ahead of the upcoming area council elections to ensure the process is free, fair and credible, as well as peaceful. And this necessitated the risk management meeting for stakeholders in Abuja, which held this Thursday. Also on Wednesday, the Commission also formally presented the voter register to members of the political parties who fielded candidates for the area council elections. And to start our countdown, we have the privilege to welcome the FCT Inec Resident Electoral Commissioner, who will be talking to us, about the level of preparedness of the elections. And he is Alhaji Yaya Bello. Thank you very much for coming on countdown to FCT area council elections.
Thank you very much, and also we want to thank you for your own participation in this election by opening this countdown session, which I believe will be so beneficial to us in terms of reaching the people that we want to sensitize, especially those who are going to vote and those who are going to partake in the election. Thank you. Okay.
Now, as we count down, everybody wants to know, how prepared is INEC for the elections?
When you talk about preparing for this election, we have been preparing this election since March 2021, when we issued a notice of election, in March, according to the electoral law, and by constitutional reasons. Ever since we did that, a lot of things a lot of programs have been affected, and a lot of it has been, fortunately for us, been led to the public through our stakeholders, the press. Because of that, we invited those who are going to participate, especially the political parties who are going to field their candidates, to apply online. All those who are going to contest for chairmanship in the 6 area councils and the councillors in the 62 wards, they applied online. The political parties held their primaries. We already have a list of candidates ready to go for this election in February 2022. We have had a lot of other preparations, including, ensuring that all our non-sensitive materials, which we are going to use in conducting the election, ballot papers, mass, what have you, we are assembling it so that by the time, at the end of this month, or even before, we must have reached a very high level, of preparedness in order to conduct this election. We have secured venues, for our racks, our super racks. We have also secured venues to train our ad hoc staff.
Okay.
And the ad hoc staff, mostly, especially the POs, presiding officers, even the assistant presiding officers, consist of members of the NYSC, or those in the university who are in their final year, or those who have left the university after doing the NYSC after 1 year. All these, especially this time around, another innovation was done. We invited our ad hoc staff to apply through our portal so that we can start having a data that we can, use, a data that we can cultivate, in any election in case there is any fallout, which I don't think we will have in this election.
Okay. Now you talked about the ad hoc staff. You talked about core members or those the undergraduates. You also mentioned civil servants. What are the criteria for civil servants who want to participate in the elections?
The NYSC core members, our ad hoc staff, they don't operate as SPOs.
Okay.
They operate as POs and APOs.
SPOs.
The SPOs is supervisory presiding officers.
Okay.
So the supervisory presiding officers are harvested from MDS, MDS from federal government, from government agencies, but they have to be on a state grade level of 10 to 14. And they will have nothing to do with, or any affiliation with any political party. So this also, we harvest them through the portal. All of them applied, and we closed the portal last Friday.
Okay.
And now we are going to be in the process of selecting all those who are going to partake in this election. All we needed was 11,000, about 900 ad hoc staff to conduct the election. But we are preparing training for 5% as a contingency. So 5% of 11,100 will be harvested. We include them on those who are going to train so that we don't have a shortfall. We don't want, a situation whereby, due to one reason or the other, we will replace trained people with non-trained people to perform our duties.
Okay.
So we go, this 5% will also serve as a pool for us, so that we can fall back to them in case people didn't turn up after the training and stuff like that. So this is what we do about the ad hoc staff.
Okay. Now, of concern to many in the FCT, is the commencement time for the election on election day. And before now, we have issues where assessing difficult terrains, delay commencement of election. What is the Commission doing in that regard?
We entered into an MOU with National Union of Road Transport Workers, that is NURTW, and NARTO. They are providers of transport. We have had several meetings with them. We are going to hold another meeting next week. In fact, we made an arrangement whereby all the requirements for transportation, it's not only buses or vehicles, also motorcycles. And in case of Abaji, for example, we need boat, also a canoe, to convey our ad hoc staff, because there's a riverine area in Abaji, so we are going to use a boat. We are going to use motorcycles. All these, we have already harvested it. All we have to do is to ensure that by next week, there's a proper arrangement between our EOs and the union, so that we'll see how it is.
Okay, now so very, very quickly, in terms of security, what is the Commission doing to ensure adequate security for electoral materials, ad hoc staff, and the electorates?
Well, first of all, We have the Interagency Consultation Committee on Election Security, which includes the REC as the chairman and the Commissioner of Police FCT as the co-chair, and it has a representative of all the security agencies, the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Road Safety, Civil Defense. All of them are members of this excess. We have met. In fact, we are going to meet again next week. And we have already, harvested from our EOs and also from the DPOs areas that have some security challenges, so that we know exactly how to approach them when it comes to election. Even as we speak with you today now, I'm coming directly from a workshop, a risk management workshop that we organize, we in Inec, in order to, in fact, we are invited again, all the security agencies, including other stakeholders like CSOs and others, so that we can harmonize, identify places, so that we can, identify them and see how we can checkmate them to ensure that our elections are hitch-free.
Thank you very much, sir. We really appreciate your time with us on Countdown on FCT 2022 Area Council elections, and we wish you, a hitch-free election come February 12, 2022.
Thank you very much. We'll continue, to get, benefit from our own cooperation and our own understanding and partnership in order to achieve this. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And that's it on Countdown on FCT Area Council elections. And I'll hand you over to Nolin for the continuation of the news.
Very well, Ifoma. Now to sports news. AFCON 2021 Nigeria match winner Kelechi Iheanacho, confident ahead of a Sudan tie as Northampton Saints director of rugby, is set to leave at end of the season. Details of this and more with Aisha Deni on Sports Brief.
Nigeria's match winner against Egypt, Kelechi Iheanacho, was delighted to get on the score sheet of his African Cup of Nations debut on Tuesday, but has admitted the Super Eagles missed some chances in the second half to put themselves out of sight. The Leicester City star rocketed the ball into the top corner with a swiftly struck left-footed strike in the 30th minute to secure all 3 points for Augustine Eguafon's side. Iheanacho has revealed that the Super Eagles will not let their chances go to waste in their upcoming clash against Sudan at the Round Ajah Stadium, Garoua, on Saturday, January 15. The Super Eagles will book a place in the knockout stage of the Africa Cup of Nations with a game to spare if they can overcome Sudan. Mali and Tunisia's African Cup of Nations game finished in chaos after the referees first signaled the full time on 85th minute, then ended the match when the clock showed 89 minutes and 47 seconds. Tunisian coach Monder Kabir and his technical staff raced onto the field to confront referee Gianni Sikazwe after his final whistle consigned them to a 1-0 defeat in Group F. 20 minutes later, after Mali manager Mohamed Magasuba's post-match press conference had started, tournament organizers ordered the game to be played to a conclusion. However, in more farcical scenes, Tunisia's players did not return to the field and Mali were declared winners. Kabir called the referee's action inexplicable, adding, "He blew for full time and asked us to go to the dressing room, so the players were in their ice baths and then he asked us to come back out." With Sports Brief, Aisha Adeni, NTA News.
The body of the Pioneer Executive Secretary Universal Basic Education Commission, led Professor Gidado Tahir, has been buried at the Gudu Cemetery. Nigerians from all walks of life attended the interment of a man many describe as an embodiment of humility and knowledge. Abdullahi Ajia reports.
The Janaiza prayer for the late Professor Gidado Tahir was conducted at the National Mosque, Abuja, with family members, friends and associates honoring the death. Thereafter, the remains of the late Pioneer UBEC Executive Secretary was moved to the Gudu Cemetery, where he was laid to rest, with prayers offered to Allah to grant him mercy and paradise.
We have prayed for him, we have buried him the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks Muslims to do. It is a very good one to see a crowd seeking for forgiveness on your behalf.
Many describe his death as shocking and a great loss to the country, especially the education sector and humanity.
If a cardinal falls, the house has to shake. So we are all shaking, we are all sad about it, and we don't know how to quantify the sadness.
He mentors uncountable people, both nationally and internationally, and he is a man of people. He is the person that can deny himself and support others.
Late Professor Dahir died Thursday morning after a brief illness. Until his death, he was one-time Deputy Vice-Chancellor Administration, University of Abuja, Chairman Governing Board of the National Council for Nomadic Education Kaduna, Provost, Federal College of Education Yola, among other local and international positions he held. Abdullahi Hajia, NTA News.
May his soul rest in peace. Do remember to take your COVID-19 vaccine and adhere strictly to safety protocols to keep safe, more so with the emergence of the Omicron variant. That concludes the news at 7 p.m. on NTA Channel 5. Thank you for watching. I am Nolin Ebel Ame. Good night.